make of this case, and what kind of impact will it have on the midterm elections?
Well, great question, Arne. You would think Trump was running because the media coverage and the scrutiny that's being foisted upon him by President Biden and others. I believe that the FBI raid of the compound has done up until now, up until until we find out what actually he had in his possession. What it's done, it's coalesced the MAGA crowd behind him. It's also taken, I believe, a lot of the independents who may or may not have liked Donald Trump behind him as well, because they feel that there's some scrutiny upon him. The way I understand this, Arne, and I have Christina Bobb on my show a couple of times, who's one of the people signing the signing the warrant when they raided the compound. The FBI was given boxes in January, they were given boxes in June, and then there was not much negotiation between June and the raid early August. So I believe what this is doing is Trump is becoming some sort of martyr on the right, and it's actually helping his poll numbers go up in a very odd way. I just have to point out, whatever Trump did, and let's not talk whataboutism, Hillary Clinton did worse. They have the documents that Trump took. Hillary Clinton used a bleach bit, which is a way to destroy all electronic records or fingerprints of documents, and she had 2,000 classified documents, 2,000 of them. So there's that.
I think that a lot of people feel the Trump raid kind of crystallized it for them, for a lot of people. I don't know if it's a huge majority, but it's certainly, I believe, a majority of Americans who believe that their government is oppressive, out of control, and needs to be checked. And the best way to check it is with the elections this fall.
We've just heard two of our Republican guests cite several instances which point to double standards on the part of the U.S. justice system when it comes to prosecuting politicians. Do they have a point?
There is some disservice paid to the justice system when it comes to prosecuting politicians, but not for the reasons your two guests mentioned. Largely because, historically speaking, the presidency has been quite protected. And the belief of the justice system has been that if you prosecuted them, if you held them to the full extent of the law, that it would somehow dismantle people's belief in democracy, that it would shake up this country to its core, that it would tear apart the very thread and the fabric of who we are. So we have seen presidents commit crimes. We watched it with Nixon. Obviously, we're seeing this with Donald Trump. And the Justice Department has largely tried to shy away from making this political. Anytime you have a former president who's done something, it's automatically political by virtue of that person holding the nation's highest office. Mm-hmm. But I do think that there is something to be said about DOJ basically handling somewhat with kid gloves what we're seeing, and in juxtaposition to what we're seeing in terms of the Trump prosecution in Georgia, or what we're seeing happen in the state of New York. Those are cases that are obviously not having anything to do with some of the crimes that we're looking at with DOJ, but the way that those are handled are very different because they reside outside of the federal system.